Hi friends, welcome to free CCNA packet tracer labs for beginners. In this video, we will create a simple networking project using packet tracer. Friends, before coming to this project, if you wish to get this type of CCNA videos or project, consider subscribing, and also don't forget to enable the bell icon so that you will not miss any future videos. Okay, now coming to the project. Here we can see the topology we are going to design in this project. We have a router, then three switches. So we can say we have three networks here. One is IT, one is HR, and we got one server farm. So here we can see those network one by one. So this is network 1, that is IT. This interface G0/0 is connected to IT switch, and we have these edge devices like ITPC1, ITPC2. Also, we got a smartphone which is connected to access point. Then here in network 2, that is HR, we got two PCs, HR PC1 and HR PC2. Then here is the third network, that is for server. We got HTTP server, DNS server, and DHCP server. We will design this topology first. Then we will give IP address to all the devices, then basic settings. Then we will configure all the servers, HTTP, DNS, DHCP. Here we set IPv4 as well as IPv6 addresses. Okay, here is our Cisco packet tracer. We will add the needed devices. We need a router. Let me choose 2911 series so that we will get three interfaces in this. This is R1. Then we need three switches. 2960 series. Okay, we will give the name as IT switch. This is HR switch. This is for a server farm. Now we need an access point. So coming to wireless devices, we will choose this access point. Consider AP guest. Then we will add edge devices. We will add two PCs here. Then for the HR, and here we will add servers. We needed HTTP server, DNS server, and DHCP server. Also, let me add a wireless device. We can add either laptop or we can add a smartphone. Okay. This is IT PC1. This is IT-PC2. Consider this is guest phone. Okay. This is a HR PC1. This is HR PC2. Here we will use HTTP server. This is DNS server. Here we have a DHCP server. Okay. We will connect all these devices. Coming to connections, choose copper straight through. So from R1, gigabit Ethernet 0/0 to IT switch G0/1. Then again from R1 G0/1 to HR switch G0/1. Then from R1 G0/2 to this server farm G0/1. Also we will connect all these NT devices. Before that we can connect access point to this IT switch. We will connect 2 gigabit Ethernet 0/2. Then NT devices FA0/1 to PC1, FA0/2 to IT PC2. HR switch FA0/1 to this HR PC1, FA0/2 to this HR PC2. Then we will connect all these servers to this server farm switch, FA0/1 to the HTTP server, FA0/2 to this DNS server, FA0/3 to this DHCP server. Now we will do some basic settings on these intermediary devices like R1, then IT switch, HR switch, and server farm. We will set host name. We will enable secret password. Also we will secure user exit password, and also a virtual terminal. Also we can set a banner. So we will do all these basic settings. First of all, coming to R1, we will go to CLI. Would you like to enter the initial configuration dialog? No. Enable conft, that is configure terminal. We will set the host name. This is R1. Also we will enable secret. We will give a simple password here, class. Then we will give service password encryption. We will set a banner MOTD. We will give a message, authorized access only. Now we will go to line console 0. We will set the password as CISCO, then login. Also we will go to line VTY, all the lines from 0 to 15, or we can set for the specific number of lines. Password CISCO, login. Here we can set logging synchronous, okay. Also we can set in line console 0. We'll set logging synchronous. Perfect. Coming to IT switch, enable conft, host name, IT switch, enable secret class, service password encryption, banner MOTD. We can set any meaningful message, authorized access only. Okay. Now we'll go to line console 0. Set the password as CISCO, login. Also we will set a logging synchronous. Then we'll go to line VTY 0 to 15. Password CISCO, login, also a logging synchronous. Coming to HR switch, enable conft, hostname HR switch, enable secret class, service password encryption, so that all the plain text passwords will be encrypted. Banner MOTD, authorized access only. Okay. Line console 0, password CISCO, login, also logging synchronous. Line VTY 0 to 15, password CISCO, login, logging synchronous. Next we will go to a server farm switch. Enable conf t hostname server farm. Enable secret class service password encryption. Banner MOTD. Authorized access only. We'll go to line console 0, password CISCO, login, also logging synchronous. Now we'll go to line VTY 0 to 15, password CISCO, login, logging synchronous. Okay, here we have done some of the basic settings on these intermediate devices. Now we will set IP address, IPv4 as well as IPv6 address for all the devices, including these router interfaces. Okay, here we will see the VLSM table for each department. Okay, there we can see there is a spelling mistake in VLSM. This is not VLSAM, it is VLSM, that is variable length subnet to mask table. Okay, right. So we will see for each department. First we can see IT. So here we considered number of users, 126, including its default gateway. And here we can see its network address we taken, first usable IP address, last usable IP address, broadcast address, then it's a prefix and subnet to mask. Here we taken the network address 192.168.1.0 and we needed only 126 users. So we can see we taken this to mask, we subnetted and we taken from 1.0 till 1.127. Now in the second department, that is HR, we needed only 60 number of users. So we will take the next subnet 192.168.1.128 till 192.168.1.191 and also given the prefix and subnet to mask. In the same way, here we can see server farm. Here we taken total number of users 30 and the network address 192.168.1.192 till 192.168.1.223. Also we can see it's a prefix and subnet to mask. Then the remaining addresses, remaining 30 addresses we kept for future use. That is from 192.168.1.224 till 192.168.1.255. And here we can see IPv6 address table for each department. We taken global unicast IPv6 address. For the IT department 2001:GB8:AC80:1:/64. Then for HR department AC80:128:/64. Then for server farm ACAD:192:/64. Also, we taken some IPv6 address for the future use. Now we will see the addressing table for each network. First, we will see the IP addressing table for network 1, that is IT. So here we can see on R1, this IT is connected to G0/0. There we can see its IPv6 address, also its IPv4 address with the mask. And also given IP address for the IT switch. This is for the management purpose, so that we can access this switch locally or remotely, and we can configure this switch. Then we can see for the guest phone, we will use Slack, that is a stateless address auto configuration for the IPv6, and also IPv4 will be taken using DHCP server. Then coming to other PCs, that is IT-PC1 and IT-PC2, we can see its IPv6 address, then its IPv4 address, default gateway, so and so. Yes, using this addressing table, we should configure the devices. Not only this network, we have network 2, that is HR. So we can see on R1, HR switch is connected to G0/1. And we can see its IPv6 address, IPv4 address with the mask. Also, we have to configure the HR switch with the IPv4 address, that is for the management purpose. Also given IPv4 as well as IPv6 address for the end devices, HR-PC1 and HR-PC2. And here goes our third network, that is for the server farm, HTTP, DNS and DHCP. And we can see this network is connected to G0/2 on R1, and we given IPv6 and IPv4 address for this interface G0/2. Also, we given IP address for all these servers, HTTP server, DNS server, DHCP server. Also, we given its default gateway, IPv4 as well as IPv6 default gateway. And also we given the IP address for this server farm. So we have to configure the SVI, switch virtual interface, and we will configure on VLAN 1. Yes, this is our entire addressing table, IPv4 and IPv6 for all the devices, all the router interfaces, then all the servers, then all other end devices, including our phone. First of all, we will configure this network 1, that is IT, and we can see this is connected to the interface G0/0 in this router R1. So we will configure that interface with IPv4 and IPv6. Password CISCO, enable, password is class, conft, and here first of all we will enable IPv6 unicast routing. Because we will configure IPv6 address also. We will go to the interface G0/0. First, we will set the IPv4 address. So, as per the addressing table, we planned 192.168.1.1, then to mask 255.255.255.128. Okay. Now we will set IPv6 address 2001:DB8:ACAD:1:1/64. So this address we planned, IPv6 address. Also we will set IPv6 address. We have to set the link local IPv6 address FE80:1 as a link local. Then activate this interface, no shutdown. Even we can set a description also for this interface. Description, we can say this is connected to IT switch, interface G0/1. Now we will configure our IT switch. Okay, password Cisco, enable password class, conf t, we will go to interface VLAN 1 and set the IP address. Here we set only IPv4 address. Even we can set IPv6 address also. Anyways, here we set only IPv4 for the switches. 192.168.1.2. Then submit to mask. We can set the description. So we can say SVI for IT switch management, no shutdown, so that we have to activate it, this VLAN 1. Now we will configure these end devices. First of all, we'll go to IT-PC1 desktop IP configuration. So here for all these end devices, we will configure the IP address manually. We will give a DHCP only for this phone or whoever connect to access point. So we will set the IP address as per our addressing table. This is 192.168.1.3. So to mask, we have to change accordingly. Also default gateway 192.168.1.1, and we will set the DNS server address also, because we should be able to access the web page. So that is 192.168.1.222. So we will set this IP address for this DNS server later. Now we can see IPv6 configuration. Even here also we can configure IPv6 configuration using automatic, so that this PC1 will receive its IPv6 address, its prefix, default gateway information using Slack. That is stateless address auto configuration. But anyway, we will configure it manually. So here we can see, once you give automatic, it received IPv6 address, default gateway and its prefix. IPv6 request successful. But anyway, we'll go with the static 2001 colon db8 colon acad colon 1:2. So /64. Then default gateway fe80:1. Now here we will set the DNS server also for IPv6. So it's 192:3. Anyway, we will verify that using our addressing table. In the same way, we will go to IT-PC2 desktop IP configuration. So here we will set the IPv4 address 192.168.1.4. Submit to mask. Default gateway 192.168.1.1. Also DNS server 192.168.1.222. Then coming to IPv6 configuration 2001 colon db8 colon acad colon 1:3 /64. Then default gateway fe80:1. Also we will give a DNS server address acad colon 192:3. Now we will go to our guest phone and desktop IP configuration, and here we given IPv4 and IPv6 as automatic. So here we can see IP configuration DHCP, but it is failed. Here we can see link local IPv4 address 169. We did not configure our DHCP server. So once we configure a DHCP server, this guest phone or whatever device is connected to the access point will receive its IP address from the DHCP server. And here this IPv6 configuration we will give automatic. So we can see it received its IPv6 address, prefix and default gateway. Now we will go to HR. So we can see HR is connected to G0/1 on R1. So we will configure this interface with IPv4 and IPv6 address. So coming to R1, we will go to that interface G0/1. We can set the IP address 192.168.1.129. Then subnet to mask. So here we can see the subnet to mask. Also we will set IPv6 address 2001:DB8:128:1/1/64. Also we will set IPv6 address FE80:1 as a link local address. We can set the description for this interface. We can say connected to HR switch, the interface G0/1. Activate this interface and no shutdown. We will configure our switch, HR switch. Before that, in IT switch, we configured IP address, but we did not configure the default gateway. So if we are not configuring the default gateway, we can access this switch only locally. If you want to access this switch outside of this network, we must configure the default gateway also. So just I will configure that here. So exit, and here we can set the default gateway 192.168.1.1. Now coming to HR switch. Password CISCO enable password class conft. Then we will go to interface VLAN 1. We'll set the description. So this is a SVI for HR switch management. Okay, then we will set the IP address 192.168.1.130, the second usable IP address from this subnet. Then subnet to mask, it's 192. No shutdown. Exit and set IP default gateway 192.168.1.129. Now we will configure these end devices HR-PC1 and HR-PC2. Coming to HR-PC1 desktop IP configuration, we have to configure both IPv4 and IPv6. So coming to IPv4 address 192.168.1.131. Then to mask we have to change default gateway 192.168.1.129. Also DNS server 192.168.1.222. So we will configure this DNS server later. Now IPv6 address. Okay, here 2001:GB8:128:2/64. Default gateway FE80:1. DNS server, so it's 192:3. Now we will go to HR-PC2. Then we will set the IPv4 and IPv6 address. So IPv4 address 192.168.1.132. We have to change the subnet mask to 192. Then default gateway 192.168.1.129. Then DNS server 192.168.1.222. So this DNS server address you can get from our addressing table. Then IPv6 address 2001:DB8:ACAD:128:3/64. Default gateway FE80:1. DNS server address, not only all the addresses we will get from the addressing table, whatever we shown. So here just I will copy this. DNS server is 192:3. Now we are coming to our server farm network, so which is connected to the interface G0/2 on router R1. We have to configure that interface with IPv4 and IPv6 address. So here we will go to the interface G0/2. We can set IP address, or even we can set the description. Okay, description, this is connected to server farm interface G0/1. Okay, IP address 192.168. We planned 1.193, the first usable IP address from this subnet. Then subnet to mask 224. Also we will set IPv6 address 2001:DB8:ACAD:192:1/64. IPv6 address FE80:1 as a link local. Then we can activate this interface, no shutdown. Perfect. Now we will configure this switch server farm. Okay, password is CISCO. Enable password is class conf t. We will go to interface VLAN 1. Then we will set the IP address, also the description. So this is for SVI for server farm. Okay, that's enough. We will set the IP address 192.168.1. Here we will give 194.224. No shutdown. Activate it. Exit and set IP default gateway 192.168.1.193. Now we will configure all our servers, HTTP, DNS and DHCP server. So coming to HTTP, so here we will give IPv4 address 192.168.1. Here we will give a 221. This address we planned for this server. Then subnet mask default gateway 192.168.1.193. DNS server 192.168.1.222. Then coming to IPv6 address 2001:. db8 colon acad colon 192. So here we will give a double colon 2 /64 default gateway fe80 double colon 1 DNS server. So we will give this address 192 double colon 3. So we will give this IPv6 address for the DNS server. So next we are going to give that. Here is our DNS server. So we will go to DNS server, desktop, IP configuration. So address, IPv4 address 192.168.1.222. So this is the DNS address we set on all the devices. Then subnet mask, default gateway 193. Then DNS server, he is the DNS server. So same address can be given here, 192.168.1.222. Then IPv6 address 2001 colon db8 colon acad colon 192 double colon 3. Prefix /64 default gateway fe80 double colon 1. Then DNS server. So he is the DNS server. So same address can be used. Now we will go to DHCP server. 192.168.1.220. Subnet mask is 224. Default gateway 192.168.1.193. DNS server 192.168.1.222. Then IPv6 address 2001 colon db8 colon acad colon 192 double colon 4 /64. Default gateway fe80 double colon 1. DNS server 192 double colon 3. Yes, we configured all the devices with IPv4 and IPv6 address. Now we are going to configure our HTTP server. So coming to HTTP server, here we can see its IP address 192.168.1.221. Also we can see its IPv6 address. So we can access this HTTP web page using either IPv4 or IPv6 address. So we'll go to services and coming to HTTP, and here we can see by default both the services, I mean HTTP and HTTPS secure, both are on. So here we are going to just edit this HTML page. For example, here instead of a Cisco packet tracer, we will give Project-1 using Cisco packet tracer. So here we can see welcome to Tech Acad project. Okay, that's fine. Save. There is already a file with the same name. Overwrite. Okay, no problem. We will give yes. We can access this web page. So just I will copy this IPv4 address. Then coming to web browser, paste that IP address here and click go. So here we can see be able to access the web page. Same way we can access using IPv6 address also. Web browser, here we can see IPv6 address, and here is the web page. So our HTTP server is ready. We can access this HTTP server from any of these devices using its IPv4 or IPv6 address. Now we are going to configure the DNS server. We want to access this HTTP server using some domain name. instead of IPv4 or IPv6, we want to give the name, not the IP address. So we have to configure the DNS server. Okay, here we can see DNS server. We will go to services and we can see DNS. So click on DNS, domain name system. So we have to put on the service, DNS service, put it on, and we can give a name for this. For example, you can give a checkacad.com or facebook.com, something. For example, here I am going to use Checkacad IPv4.com, because here we are going to access using IPv4, and we have to specify the IP address of our web server. What is the IP address of our HTTP server? So here we can see that. Go to that HTTP server IP configuration. So here we can see its IPv4 address. Just I will copy that, close this, go to DNS server and paste that address here. Okay, so we can add this record. It's added. In the same way, we can add a record for IPv6 also. So here we will give a name, Checkacad IPv6.com, and address. What is the IPv6 address of our HTTP server? So we have to get its IPv6 address. Make sure that you give the correct IP address. We'll give here, then add. So we can see records are added here for IPv4 as well as for IPv6. Yes, now we can access this HTTP server using its domain name. We given Checkacad IPv4.com and Checkacad IPv6.com. So we will test that at the end of this lab. Next, we are going to configure the DHCP server so that the entity devices which is connecting to access point will get the IP address from this DHCP server. So coming to DHCP server, we will go to services, and here we can see DHCP service, dynamic host configuration protocol. And also we have a DHCP version 6 configuration, but that will be configured in the future project. Here we are going to configure only DHCP v4, and here already we have seen we configured the Slack. Okay, so we'll go to DHCP, and here we have a default pool, server pool. Before that, let me put it on. I mean, the service is off, so we'll put it on. Okay, default gateway. So the default gateway for this network 192.168.1.1, we will set that address here, 192.168.1.1. DNS server, yes, we have a DNS server 192.168.1.222. Then start IP address 192.168.1. We will start from 100. Okay, we will get till 126. Then a subnet to mask here, subnet to mask is 128. Okay, just I will save this, and here we can see the information. Default gateway, DNS server, start IP address, subnet to mask, maximum users 28 users can be connected, right? So just I will close this. Still this phone will not receive IPv4 address from DHCP server because we have to configure a DHCP relay in this router R1 in the interface G0/0. So we have to configure with this DHCP server IP address. So let me copy its IP address, 192.168.1.220. Then we will go to R1. Okay, password Cisco, enable, password is class conf t. Then we will go to interface G0/0, because we can see this network or this access point is connected in this network in IT, and which is connected to G0/0 on R1. So we have to configure this IP helper address in this interface G0/0. IP helper address. Then we have to give our DHCP server IP address. Perfect. Now we will go to guest phone. We can go to command prompt and we can request for the IP address using command IP config/renew. So we can see DHCP request failed. So once more we will go and verify in DHCP server. We'll verify DHCP service, DHCP. Then click on this, and here we can see all the information: default gateway, DNS server, start IP address. Okay, so here we can see start IP address 192.168.1. We given 100, right? So 100. Then subnet mask, it's 128. So we will save this. Okay, here we can see the changes. Again, we will go to guest phone, command prompt, and we will give IP config/renew. Yes, here we have its IP address. IP address 192.168.1.100. Then subnet mask, default gateway. Also, it's a DNS server. Now we will configure this access point here, and whenever we kept this guest phone here automatically connected to access point. We did not configure anything on access point, so we will set some SSID. We will configure some security in this access point. So coming to access point config, so we'll go to port 1, and here we will change this SSID from default to, we will give some name, for example guest. Then we will give authentication WPA2PSK, that is a pre-shared key. Here we will give a key Cisco 123. And now we can see this guest phone is disconnected. We'll go to this phone config. Here we can see wireless. So SSID is guest. Then authentication WPA2PSK Cisco 123. Then just close this. So we'll wait 15 seconds, and we can see this is connected to access point. Now we are going to configure SSH in this router R1 so that all other devices can access this router R1 using only SSH service. Okay, so here exit. Here we have to set the domain name, IP domain name techacad.com. Then we have to give crypto key generate RSA 1024. Even we can set the version IP SSH version 2. Let me set a username and password. Username admin, password we'll give admin. Okay, now we will go to line VTY 0 to 15, all the lines. So here transport input only SSH, not Telnet. Okay, then login local using this username and password admin, password admin. and copy run space start. Also, we will configure any one of the switch, or we can configure in all the switches, either SSH or Telnet. So coming to IT switch, so we already enabled VTY, virtual terminal. So here Cisco enable conft, sorry, password is class conft, and IP domain name techacadhelp.com. Okay, crypto key generate RSA 1024, IP SSH version 2. We will create the username admin, password admin. Then we will go to line VTY 0 to 15, transport input SSH, or even we can give all, so that we can access this switch using either Telnet or SSH. So here I am going to give all option. Login local and copy run space start. We'll go to other switches and we will save the configuration. Here also we can configure the same steps, SSH or Telnet. Cisco enable class copy run space start. Then coming to a server farm, password is Cisco, enable class, password is class conft, sorry, we have to save, copy run space start. Okay, I expect all the configurations we have done perfectly. Now we will test the connectivity, end-to-end connectivity. First, we will try to access this HTTP server using a domain name from all these edge devices. So we'll go to guest phone and we will go to web browser. Here, check Acad IPv4.com. So we are waiting for the web page. Parallelly, I will copy this URL. Yes, here we can see the web page. Now we'll go to ITPC1 web browser. It's working. We'll go to IT-PC2 TechAcad IPv4. It's working. We'll go to HR. Same URL. It's working. We'll go to HR-PC2. Working. Now again we will go back to guest phone and here we will give TechAcad IPv6.com. So this is TechAcad IPv6.com. Yes, it's working. So just I will copy this. Then coming to other edge devices. Perfect. IT-PC2. Go. Perfect. Then in HR, they can also access the HTTP server using IPv6. Perfect. Now we will access this router R1 using SSH. We can access from any of these edge devices. So we'll try from this SSH-L. We have to give the username admin. Then we have to give the target IP address. 192.168.1.1. We can give any IP address of these interfaces G0/0, G0/1 or G0/2. So we given the IP address of G0/0. Okay, it's prompted for the password. Password is admin. Yes. So here we can see the banner MOTDB set, and now we are in R1. Exit. And here we cannot access this using Telnet. For example, Telnet 192.168.1.1. And we can see connection to this router closed by foreign host. So we can access this router R1 only using SSH. Now we will access this switch, IT switch, from any of this entity device. We will access from okay, we can access from here, or we will access it remotely from HR-PC1 SSH-L. Username is admin. Then we have to give its IP address 192.168.1.2, and it's prompted for the password. We given admin. Okay, once more I will try admin. Yes. So authorized access only. This is the banner MOTDB set, and now we are in IT switch. Now exit. So here we accessed using SSH. Now we are going to access using Telnet, because we given all option there, transport, input, all. So we can access using Telnet also. Telnet. Then we have to give the IP address of our switch 192.168.1.2. So here we can see user access verification. So username is admin, password is also admin. Just type it and press enter. So we can see now we are in this IT switch. Okay, that's all in this project. We can say this is only a mini project, and we implemented some of the terminologies like VLSM, subnetting, then HTTP server, DNS server, DHCP server. Also, we configured IPv4 and IPv6 addresses to the interfaces, also to the end devices, and also we configured our access point. And just to make sure that you configure all these interfaces or all the end devices using our addressing table. Actually, I just remembered all the addresses. That's why I did not refer the addressing table. Just I configured it. You can take it down. You can take a snapshot of that addressing table and you can configure it, or even you can change that addresses whatever we used. You can create your own addresses. You can create different topology and you can implement it. Perfect. Now friends, if you get any doubt or any suggestions regarding this mini project, you can comment below, or even you can contact our team. All the details you will get from the description below. So stay tuned. We will meet again with the next video. Thank you.